DJ Herz was one of your breakout prospects in the year of 2024. So we have to get into a player breakdown and, of course, project what this guy can do in 2025. And it's safe to say he's going to be a mainstay in the rotation moving forward.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, I'm your host, Ryan Clary. You can catch me over on Twitter at RyanClary11 and as well as our show page at LO_Nationals. For all your latest Nationals news and notes, make sure to check us out over on Twitter. And while you're at it, search up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcast, whether it's on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, and wherever you get your pods. Simple as that. Later on in today's show, we've got the World Series set, and it is the Dodgers going up against the Yankees. If you're Rob Manfred right now, after last year having the Diamondbacks and the Rangers, Dodgers-Yankees will pummel every TV record in the history of Major League Baseball. You heard that right. We'll have that preview for you a little bit later on in today's show. And we also debut a new segment for the offseason, something that we've been kind of working on behind the scenes here, I guess you could say. Make It Make Sense Monday. Make It Make Sense Monday will just kind of be something to vent about. It'll be something to vent about. You have been just kind of thrown through the mud, dragged through the mud, rather, over the last few years here. We're going to vent. And I want your guys' thoughts as well down in the comment section. Drop what you want to vent about, what I want to vent about, and we will have a venting session to start our week here on Locked On Nationals throughout this offseason. So we start today, Make It Make Sense Monday. But we start off discussing DJ Herz and the season that he just had, because DJ Herz was kind of the surprise guy this year. We weren't really expecting too many great things from him. But if you look at his numbers, the second half of the season, DJ Herz was your best Washington Nationals starter. And we'll tell you more about that. But today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB to win $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. So we get started discussing with DJ Herz. And as I said, I think DJ Herz was the best National starting pitcher in the second half of this season. What I saw from DJ Herz in 2024 was someone that was much better than your number 16 prospect or wherever he was ranked previously before making his debut with the Nationals early on this summer. I think DJ Herz, you might be able to make the case for him having the second highest ceiling right behind Mackenzie Gore as far as starting pitchers go. There's a lot to be excited about with this kid. And I think a lot of it has to do with, number one, his stuff plays in the majors. It simply does. When talking about DJ Herz, the changeup, that's what we all raved about. I remember having Lindsey Crosby, host of Locked On MLB Prospects, just last year when the Nationals did decide to trade Candelario for DJ Herz and Kevin Madej. And he raved about his changeup. And I think that proved a point in 2024. Even though that wasn't even his best pitch, I think that is why I sit here today thinking that this guy has a sky-high potential that we just don't even know at this point in time. DJ Herz's best pitch this year was his fastball. That's what the numbers say. That's what Baseball Savant says. And that's just what the eye test says as well. DJ Herz was really impressive throughout this whole 2024 season. And if you kind of get into it, in 19 starts this year, had a 4.16 ERA. But even then, I think that ERA is probably a little bit inflated considering a lot of different things. Going like those 3-4 innings pitch where you get up 6 earned runs, we get knocked around. And that's pretty common when you're a rookie up in the bigs. And also, when you don't have all the talent in the world, like DJ Herz, this is not someone who's a can't-miss prospect. This was someone who struggled a lot with walks, and you saw that nip him in the butt this season. But also at times, the reason why I'm so high on him is when he wasn't walking 4 batters per start, when he wasn't making atrocious errors in the field. You saw him strike out 11 batters over 6 innings pitched, only gave up like 2 hits. His ceiling right now, sitting here today, is almost as high as Mackenzie Gore's could be. Almost. Now, again, when you get into ceiling talk, there's a little bit of a gray area here. That's not going to be something that he will be down the line. That doesn't mean that he's going to be your second best pitcher for this team moving forward. In fact, if that is the plan, we're in trouble. But that is his ceiling. Meaning if he were correct all his wrongdoings this year, considering his lack of command, walking a lot of batters, having starts where he just simply does not seem to be at his best. If you were to take those away from DJ Herz and take away the command issues, we'd be talking about a totally different pitcher. Because again, looking at his numbers here, striking out nearly 11 batters per 9 innings. Now, some people don't really look at strikeouts and say, like, it's not the end of the world here. You don't need to strike out 12 batters per 9. You don't need to strike out even 10 batters per 9. But I think if you're a young starting pitcher, having a strikeout rate that's as high as of 11 per 9 innings, that tells you a lot about a pitcher. And it tells you more so about their stuff. He's got the stuff. He's got the curveball. He's got the changeup, or the knuckle curve, really, even though it just seemed like a curveball to me, but that's a different discussion for a different day. This guy's got the stuff. And I think we can all kind of go into this 2025 year thinking that DJ Herz will be a big part of this team moving forward. And also looking into it, look at his strikeout rate. Again, we talk about Baseball Savant a lot here on this show because it kind of just gives you where this guy ranks as far as qualified pitchers go. His expected ERA was in the 79th percentile. His whiff percentage, 78th percentile. His strikeout percentage in the 81st percentile. His walk rate, 29th percentile, and we talked about that, and that is why this guy really struggled for portions of the season. Hard hit percentage, 81st percentile. Barrel percentage, 41st percentile. This guy is above average or right around average in basically every category that I look at and try to determine what a pitcher can be down the road. And this was just his rookie season, by the way. And also his fastball run value, 84th percentile. Breaking run value, 43rd percentile. Everything under this umbrella of DJ Herz points to this guy being a big part of the rotation moving forward. And I think, kind of reaching back to our Friday conversation with Bobby Blanco and why I said that I think the Nationals should go after a power bat rather than a starting pitcher, it's in part due to guys like DJ Herz, Mackenzie Gore, Josiah Gray, when he's back and healthy, of course, Cade Cavalli. DJ Herz will be one of your better pitchers in 2025. I do believe in that sitting here today. And I think a lot of people should believe in that fact. 23 years old, doing what he did this year, making his debut. And also, by the way, when he got called up from Rochester, it's not like this guy was blowing people away. He wasn't. He struggled in a huge way earlier on this season in AAA. And then he makes a jump to the bigs. One of his first few starts against the Miami Marlins, carrying a no-hitter later on in that game, going 7 innings pitched, striking out nearly 13 batters. DJ Herz, some of his brightest moments were not just some of his brightest moments. They were some of the Nationals' brightest moments in 2024. So going into 2025, let's hit home on this point. He's going to be your second best starting pitcher, I believe, behind Mackenzie Gore, if you don't go out there and get a starting pitcher. That's a big if. That's how good this guy is. And I think a lot of Nationals fans out there, you think to yourself, well, we've seen dominant starting pitching before. Is it really going to come in the form of DJ Herz? And your top 2 pitchers going into 2025 are 2 lefties with Gore and Herz? I mean, I guess you could say that is a little bit of an issue. You would like to see a dominant right-handed pitcher in there as well, like Jake Irvin, if he could take that next step up. But I think DJ Herz, as far as ceiling goes, this is your second best starting pitcher that we've got in the pen. So I think that's going to be an interesting one to watch moving forward. But now we debut a new segment here on Locked On Nationals. Make it make sense Monday. It's one of those off seasons where there's going to be a lot of frustration going around this fan base, whether the learners will sell the team, will they spend in free agency, will they stay put? There's going to be a lot of different things that will make you and I frustrated. So we have a block circled off every Monday, second segment of the show. It's going to take away from the Nats stock report because there's no baseball being played right now for the Nationals, unfortunately. But make it make sense Monday. This is our time to vent about something and try to make it make sense. And of course, we start off with the biggest offseason discussion. If the learners cannot spend in free agency, how can they win the fan base over? Make it make sense Monday starts after I tell you guys about some of our very good friends over at PrizePicks. And of course, I've told you about PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's best place to get real money and sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. And of course, you can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. And PrizePicks is the best way to get on the action on sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, Texas, and my home state, Virginia. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. PrizePicks puts its members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I get my money as quick as 15 minutes. And of course, when I tell you guys, go over to PrizePicks and download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download PrizePicks today. Now we get back into it with Make It Make Sense Monday. We just explained this will be the second segment every Monday moving forward, and this will be the hot topic of the offseason. If the learners, the Nationals owners, do not spend money in free agency, how can they win this fan base over? Hint, they won't. Right now, Nationals fans are up in arms. They just are. Going forward with this team, I think that this is going to be the offseason where the learners could, quote unquote, win the fans over. But even then, I think going out there and spending on a Pete Alonso, and let's say, and or a Corbin Burns, let's say they have this magical offseason where they decide to spend. I still don't think